All right. Now we're going to talk about smoke protection. This is probably my favorite topic. And as we go on, you're going to see why. First off, we've probably watched and seen the news. I'm just going to give you like an example here. And we're in the greater Pittsburgh area. Let's say there was a fire in Butler, and then 3 people died in the fire. And they died from smoke inhalation. Okay, there was a fire in Pittsburgh. 2 people died, and they died from smoke inhalation. There was a fire in Waynesburg. There was a fire in Morgantown, and 3 people died, and they died from smoke inhalation. The point is, it's always smoke inhalation. What's up with that? I was speaking with the lady the other day and talking about this, and she said, I always wondered about that because I feel like being burned is the worst thing. And I was glad. And she goes, I'm not glad, but they died from smoke inhalation and not being burned. And if you think about it, what do you hear when you see on the news? What do we always hear? It's they died from smoke inhalation. Why does that happen? I'm going to explain it to you right now. This is a smoke detector from ADT. Do you notice this cap here that extends from the bottom? Of course, it's mounted like this from the ceiling, but this cap that's here, most smoke detectors that you have in your home don't have this cap on it. This cap right here detects a smoldering fire. This, the other part of this here detects the heat type of a fire, which is what you have in your home. This is usually an ionization or heat sensor. This part is called a photoelectric. Now, one thing about this is, there was a note out from the National Fire Association, not the Borough of Pittsburgh or the Borough of Philadelphia, the National Fire Association. Their data stated that from 1912, that 3 out of 4 home fires started as a smoldering fire. That data is from 2012. It's 2.5 years old. It's not real old data. It's pretty current data. So that most fires these days are starting as smoldering fires. Now, a smoldering fire will not set off a traditional smoke detector. The traditional smoke detector up here in this portion, most of these are ionization smoke detectors. This ionization smoke detector has a layer of radium in there. And if you look at the back of the smoke detector, you'll see a skull and crossbones saying there's radioactive material in there. Now, let's say that smoke detector's been up there for 1 year. There's a year of dust on that, okay? Let's say it 2 years. 2 years of dust. Okay, let's say 5 years, 10 years, 10 years of dust. Now, here comes a hot particle flying over to that and lands on that. And it's supposed to go off like at 121 degrees. But we've got 6 layers of dust on there. 6 years of dust, rather. Maybe it doesn't go off. Now also, but the more of the key point is, a smoldering fire, the particles that are floating up there aren't hot. And there is a video on YouTube. And if you go to youtube.com and type in aquarium test, AQUARIUM, aquarium test, there'll be a picture of an aquarium there, like this. Okay, a 30-gallon aquarium tank and a guy in a red shirt. And what he does is he creates a smoldering fire. He gets the aquarium, and no water in it, of course, puts in there a piece of foam rubber and gets a soldering iron, sticks it into the foam rubber, and what happens? It does not burn. It does not burn. It begins to smolder. So he's got a smoldering smoke going on, simulating what the National Fire Association said, a smoldering fire. He's got that smoldering fire, that's smoking in there. He gets a carbon monoxide, puts it in there, and gets an ionization smoke detector, like the one that's in your home. Puts it in that a tank and covers it up. And the whole tank fills up with smoke. You can see, go to youtube.com and type in aquarium test. You'll see an aquarium that's filled up with smoke. There's no water in it. It's filled with smoke, but the smoke detector's not going off. Now, after 8 minutes being in there, the carbon monoxide detector goes off. Whoa, This is deadly now. And just like the customer that I spoke with 2 days ago, 30 years ago, there was a fire at his friend's house, and the two young men died at the window. They were just getting ready to get out the window. The window wasn't open, and they died right in front of the window from the carbon monoxide, the poisonous gases that were in there. He said they both found them, both right in front of the closed windows. So the carbon monoxide goes off after 8 minutes. Done a smoke detector in there. He's waiting. He time lapses this for 30 minutes. The smoke detector never goes off. This is the ionization smoke detector, the one that's in your home right now. Now, he pulls the smoke detector out, pushes the button, says, it works. It works, but it never went off in that tank. Then he takes that smoke detector, puts it on the wall, and he's got a toaster here. He pushes that toaster down. 2.5 minutes it goes off. Works fine with that heat. But with that smoldering fire, it never went off. Then the guy takes a photoelectric smoke detector, puts it in that fish tank and covers it up. Bop, 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 bop. 5 seconds it goes off. Not 15 seconds, not 50 seconds. Not 5 minutes. 5 seconds, the photoelectric goes off in that smoldering fire. This is the one you want to have at your home. This is one, you want both. Because if the photoelectric were in your kitchen and your kitchen caught on fire, the photoelectric is going to have a hard time going off. It's the reverse of the ionization. That's why we have both at ADT. We have both solutions there. So this thing here, regardless of what you do with ADT, whether you add ADT smoke detectors or you don't with ADT, you definitely want to add a photoelectric smoke detector to your home. They're available in the hardware store anywhere from $20 to $50. But you want to add this to your home. And you need both. It's not one or the other, you need both. So this is the one that you want to add. This will save people's lives. I was speaking in Beaver Falls, an area outside of Pittsburgh, and the mayor was there, and the police chief was there, and at a crime watch meeting with about 25 residents. And I was talking about this toxic smoke. And the Mayor Quay says, excuse me, I want to say something. What Bo's saying about this toxic smoke, it's really true. He goes, but here's what I want to say. The Mayor Quay in Beaver Falls, says, you may wake up in the middle of the night and smell smoke. You may wake up. But smoke will never wake you up. The smoke will never wake you up. That's why we want to have this. That's why we see on the news, they died from smoke inhalation. They died from smoke inhalation. They're not waking up. They're not waking up. This is what we want to add to our homes. Do it with ADT. We monitor your home 24 hours a day. Here's another reason of why you might want ADT to have an ADT smoke detector. One, for most of us, our home is our biggest investment we're ever going to make in our lifetime. So let's protect our investment while we're away from home. Because the best way to fight any fire, whether the fire's in the basement, whether the fire's in the kitchen, or whether the fire's upstairs, the best way to fight any fire is early detection. And early detection, that's what the ADT, because as soon as it's detected, we're going to call the fire department. Then we're going to call you and say, hey, the fire department's on the way. Now, your home, you can say, well, I'll wait till my neighbors find out about it. Well, by the time your neighbors have seen it, your home's already been burning for 45 minutes to an hour. And by that time, most of the damage is already done. Let's stop it. Let's nip it in the bud. We'll monitor it 24 hours a day. Now, here's another thing. For you pet owners, you ever think about that? Unless you have a pet door. Now, again, I've been doing this with ADT for over 3 years. And in 3 years, I visit 2 to 3 homes, 5 or 6 days a week. I've only had 3 customers that have doggy doors for their pets. Only 3. So if a fire were to start, your dogs and cats, no matter how smart they are, they're not going to be able to press 911. So this is another reason of why to have this monitored smoke detector that can protect your pets while you're not there. And on both levels, the smoke and also the carbon monoxide. The pets aren't as big as us. You know, when that carbon monoxide goes off, you got a couple hours to get out of the house. But if you're gone all day or for the weekend, the pets aren't as big as us. They're not going to be able to stand that carbon monoxide poisoning. We can take care of that for you. You know, and again, that's at the $47, at the $42 level, we've got the smoke and we've got the carbon monoxide monitoring covered at that level there. And so I think that that's, you know, pretty much what I wanted to cover on the on the smoke. And we call them smoke communicators. That's because they communicate back to our command stations. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the command stations and maybe a little bit more about why you might want to have ADT as your security solution provider. Thanks very much for taking this minute. Oh, I've got two more things on fire. I'm sorry. Just a couple more things on fire real quick. One is to have a fire plan. Now, the fire plan, to me, it doesn't have to be real big and everything. The main thing for me in a fire plan is to have a meeting place outside. Here's why. Let's say there's two children there. One child's in the basement with the father, and one child's with the mother upstairs in the kitchen, and the fire breaks out. The mom goes out the kitchen, the dad goes out the basement. They're on opposite ends of the house. They're outside there, and they say, okay, let's go find mommy, let's go find daddy. And they go around the house to the front, to the back. They don't see mommy or daddy. They said, let's go back to the front, don't see mommy or daddy. Daddy says, child, wait here. I have to go in the house and get your mother and your brother. A meeting place can save a life. Usually it's just out front of the house, but wherever, just have a meeting place. You know, at the dinner table, just say, hey, you know, we talked about this before, but that meeting place out front, that meeting place by the garage, that meeting place out back, just confirm that meeting place. And now another thing too, on a fire situation, if you're in the upstairs, if you don't have a tree to get down or, you know, a fire escape of some sort, if you have a drop down there that's to concrete, you might want to like look at either a bull rope and put some knots in it or a fire ladder that hooks on and goes down. But you know, if your drop's 20 feet, you know, 15, 20 feet, and you're going into concrete, that's going to be tough. So a bull rope or a fire ladder might be a very good solution to have for that. And I think that's pretty much it for fire safety for right now. But again, the photoelectric portion of these smoke detectors, you know, will wake you up in the middle of the night and not let you sleep through the smoke. Because like Mayor Quay said, smoke will not wake you up. Smoke will not. Any other questions, I'd be glad to talk more about fire. So thank you very much. And our next section, we're going to talk a little bit about, again, why you want to choose ADT as your security provider.